The last caller. The job listing did not appear on Indeed or LinkedIn or any of the boards where Daniel Ostro had been searching for 6 months. It came in the mail. A creamy envelope, hand-addressed, postmarked from a town in Pennsylvania he had never heard of. Overnight host wanted, the letter read. WKPX, 1480 AM, Clearfield County. Must be willing to work alone. $42,000 plus lodging. Please respond by the 14th. There was no phone number, only an address. Daniel was 31 and had been fired from his last 3 radio gigs for what his supervisor at WBAL called an unfortunate tendency toward sincerity. He had $800 in his account and a girlfriend who had begun to look at him the way one looks at a piece of furniture that no longer matches the room. He read the letter 3 times. Then he packed a duffel bag and drove west. Clearfield County in October looked like a place that had been almost forgotten. The station sat at the end of a gravel road, 3 miles past the last gas station, surrounded by birch trees so pale they seemed to glow at dusk. A single transmission tower rose behind the building, red light pulsing slow at its peak. Bum, 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 like a heart at rest. The station manager was a woman named Eileen Vasquez. She was perhaps 60, perhaps 80. Daniel could not tell. Her eyes were the color of wet slate, and she smiled with only the lower half of her face. "You're early," she said. "Most of them come later." "Most of who?" She did not answer. She showed him the booth, a small, warm room paneled in dark wood, a single microphone above a console older than Daniel was, and a wall of vinyl climbing to the ceiling, thousands of records alphabetized in their sleeves. "Your shift is midnight to 4, Eileen said. "Play whatever you like until 3. The phone lines open at 3 sharp. They close at 3:33. You take every call. You do not screen them. You do not hang up. Then you play one final song and sign off." "What if nobody calls?" She looked at him for a long moment with her wet slate eyes. "They will call," she said. The first night, Daniel played records. The warmth of the booth, the small red glow of the on-air sign, it brought something back to life in him. At 2:59, his palms began to sweat. The phone bank had 6 lines. None had rung. The clock ticked from 2:59 to 3, and Daniel let out a small laugh and reached for the next record. All 6 lines lit up at once. The sound was not a ring. It was a low, sustained hum, like the resonant note of a struck bell held just at the threshold of hearing. Daniel picked up the receiver. "WKPX, you're on the air." A long pause, and then a voice. A young woman's, breathy and uncertain, with the faint hiss of distance behind it, as if she were calling from the bottom of a well. "Could you play Crimson and Clover? The Tommy Jeans version, not the cover." "Sure. Who am I dedicating it to?" "To me. Just to me. Please, nobody plays it anymore." He found the record. His hand shook a little, though he could not have said why. The song bloomed into the booth, and the amber light on line 1 went out. Line 2 was still lit. A man this time. Older. "Moon River," the Andy Williams. "For Marjorie." "And who's Marjorie?" "She was my wife." A pause. She was. By 3:33, he had taken 6 calls and played 6 songs, and the lines went silent all at once, as if a hand had closed around them. He played a closing song, Otis Redding, "Try a Little Tenderness," and signed off. In the parking lot afterward, Daniel Ostro felt more alive than he had in a year. He did not yet know why. By the end of the first week, He had begun to notice things. The callers never gave their names without prompting. The songs they requested were old, none newer than 1989, and the records were always there, always. He could request a B-side from a 1962 doo-wop group that had released exactly one single, and he would find it on the wall, alphabetized and waiting, as if the wall had been built specifically for these calls, as if it had been built specifically for him. On the 8th night, a woman asked for The Willow Weir Waltz by the Halberd Brothers, 1934. He found it in the H section. The sleeve was brown with age. He could not remember filing it. He was certain he had not filed it. When the song ended, the line simply went dark. He pulled the vinyl out and held it to the booth's amber light. The grooves were worn smooth in a single thin spiral, almost to the label, as if it had been played 10,000 times by hands that loved it. His fingers, when he drew them away, were cold. In the second week, the callers began to know him. "Daniel," a man said on line 3. "Could you play Stardust?" Daniel had not given his name on the air, not once. "How did you know my name?" "Oh," a small laugh. "I'm sorry. I suppose I've been listening." "For how long?" The man's voice softened, the way a voice softens when it is trying not to frighten a child. "You play the songs so beautifully. We're all so glad you came." After the shift, Daniel drove to the diner at the edge of Clearfield. The waitress brought him coffee without being asked. "You're at the station," she said. It was not a question. "He used to listen when I was a girl. My mother kept it on all night. She said the host had the kindest voice she ever heard. Robert, his name was. Robert Lindquist. He worked there from 61 to 67. Just disappeared one night. Left his car in the lot. Coat on the chair. Show was still running." "Still running?" Music kept playing till morning. Phone lines kept ringing. Nobody to answer him. She looked at him with an expression he could not read. He had a nice voice, like yours. He went to the records that night, before his shift. He found it in the L section. A single 45. No sleeve. The label read, "Voice of Robert Lindquist. WKPX B-Scarcast. 11/4/1967. Final sign-off." He carried it into the booth with hands that felt very far away from his body. He lowered the needle. A man's voice spoke into the warm dark. "Good morning, friends. It's 3:33 on WKPX, and the lines are closing. I want to thank you for the songs. They're such beautiful songs. They deserve to be remembered. I think I understand now. The station was built here for a reason. The signal goes somewhere, doesn't it? The signal goes down. And the people down there, they remember. But they need someone to play the songs. They need someone with a voice. They need a sound. Soft. A man, very gently, beginning to weep. They've asked me to stay. They've asked so kindly. I think I'd like to stay with the songs." A long silence. "This is Robert Lindquist, signing off for the last time. Take care of each other. Play the songs. Play them all." The needle lifted itself with a small mechanical sigh. Daniel sat in the booth. The clock read 11:58 p.m. He could leave. He understood that now. But he thought of the woman who had asked for Crimson and Clover. Nobody plays it anymore. thought of Marjorie. He thought of the Halberd brothers, and every song on the wall behind him that had ever been loved by someone who had been forgotten by everyone else. He thought of his own voice, and how it sounded in the warm dark of the booth. He stayed. On the 29th night, a caller asked him for a song he had never heard of. It was a child's voice, or something shaped like a child's voice, by Daniel Ostro. 19. Well, you haven't recorded it yet. The hiss behind the voice was very loud tonight. He could hear beneath the hiss what sounded like many other voices far away, all of them singing softly, all of them in the same key. I haven't written that song, he said. You will, and it will be beautiful, and we'll all listen. We've been so looking forward to it. Eileen said it wouldn't be long now. Daniel looked at the great wall of records. There was a new sleeve on the O-Shep that he was certain had not been there an hour ago. The label was blank, but the vinyl inside it was warm to the touch, as if it had recently been played. How long have I been here? Daniel asked, very quietly. The child laughed, a small, delighted laugh. Oh, Daniel, you've always been here. We just had to wait for you to come. The transmission tower behind WKPX 1480 AM still pulses red, slow as a heart at rest, 3 miles past the last gas station in Clearfield County. The station broadcasts every night, midnight to 4. The host has a kind voice. The phone lines open at 3 and close at 3:33. He plays whatever you ask for. He has been there a long time. He will be there a long time more. If you find yourself driving alone, late, on a long road in the middle of the country, and the radio dial slides past 1440 AM, still pulses red, slow as a heart at rest, 3 miles past the last gas station in Clearfield County, the station broadcasts every night, midnight to 4. The host has a kind voice. The phone lines open at 3 and close at 3:33. He plays whatever you ask for. He has been there a long time. He will be there a long time more. If you find yourself driving alone, late, on a long road in the middle of the country, and the radio dial slides past 1480 AM, stop a moment. Listen. There is a song that belongs to you. It has been waiting. He will play it if you call.